Dang, summoning on the test server is easy. Just open up your mailbox, 5 new copies of each. Boom.
Fastidious.
Fastidious.
How the heck are you guys? I am Fastidious. Welcome to the Fastidious test server. Officially, this is not a drill. The new Valentine's Day couple has been introduced. Diao-chan and Lubu. Please let me know if I'm saying those names right. Here we are on the Fastidious test server. Very quickly, guys, I do want to say I know the game has been feeling stale lately. We now know these two amazing Valentine's Day heroes are coming very soon. It's also coming with a big Valentine's Day event. I get it. You've been bored, you've been frustrated, you've been anxious about the game. Hopefully this can make us a little more optimistic. I also want to say personally, I know people have been less interested in videos and subscribing lately, but maybe this jazzes you up. So if you like this content, if you still love the game, subscribe to the channel and you'll get everything you need to know. Let's go. I'm going to review these heroes, first look, live look, first impressions. Basically, I've done no more than a very quick glance, not even a once-over. I just wanted to see what kind of heroes we were dealing with to see how I wanted to make this video. Basically, we have a brand new fighter. Where is he hiding? Yeah, Lubu. There's Lubu right here. Very similar to Ardia, actually, in terms of his faction membership. He's Northerner and Chaotic. I think they're the only two. It's not showing me here, but I do think that to be the case. Pretty darn sure. Another fighter, Northerner Chaotic, supposed to be incredibly strong. And then if we go all the way down to the bottom in the healers, I think a completely amazing unit. Lubu, this is going to be the limited hero, dual faction in Watcher and Infernal. Also very unique. I'm trying to think if there's any other unit that is those two. I don't think there is. Let me take a quick little peeksy-pooksy. Oh, Soleil. Soleil is Watcher Infernal, but it's a unique combination, fairly rare, pretty dang cool. So both these units are supposed to be completely busted. You guys have been asking me about them, to cover them, what I knew for weeks, but I did not want to speak to leaks, and quite frankly, I did not seek out leaks. So frankly, I don't know that much about these heroes. R-Type gave them a look over though, and he told me the kits are pretty involved, pretty in-depth. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make 2 videos. You're watching the first one right now. We're gonna make a video on Lubu, and we're gonna make a video on Diao-chan. So I can take my time to really go through it. The videos won't be that long, I promise, but I wanna be able to go over stats, awakenings, talents, skills, really, digest all of that and then let you guys know my opinions and my initial evaluation. I think it's gonna be pretty dang exciting. So in this first video, we're gonna talk about Lubu, and then I think you guys should be eagerly anticipating, assuming you wanna know about Diao-chan and you wanna know what I think, eagerly awaiting the second video on her, because she is the limited, she is gonna be guaranteed at 200, and we gotta find out, are we gambling for second copies? I don't know. I think almost no one should unless you have a huge stockpile and you're willing to be disappointed, as many of us were with Sung Wukong. But the other thing, what if she has a really good A1 or A2 and you've been sitting on a couple soul stones? Like for me, example, I have 2 unpolished soul stones, A0 Wukong. I've been waiting for a third before I jump straight to A3, but what if we find out Diao-chan has a great A1 or a great A2? That changes everything. So get excited. Let's hop right in with Lubu. So you can see these guys are a couple. They're from something called the Three Kingdoms. It's an old 14th century or 15th century, I think it was 15th century, Chinese novel that has since been adapted over the nearly millennium since then in Chinese culture and now in Western and popular culture as well. I think there have been video games, there have been movies, TV series, animes, all that stuff. So these guys are supposed to be really hype. Interesting thing out of the gate with Lubu, he has the same dual feather headpiece like Sung Wukong. Are they reusing that asset? I don't know. He does look cool. He might be the broadest boy in the game. He's giving Ardith a run for his money. Let's give Ardith a quick little peek. You guys can evaluate for yourself who's thicker. Dang, I think Lubu, it's either the same model or maybe Lubu's a little thicker. That sounded thirsty. He's huge though. Look at this guy. Okay, anyway, he was once driven by an insatiable hunger for power and possessing unrivaled invincibility, now stands corrupted by chaos. His unmatched might has twisted into savage fury. Upon entering the deep descent state, Lubu, so he has multiple states, so we're gonna have to learn about this. I'm glad thank you, R-Type, that it's suggesting we split into 2 different videos. So upon entering that state, he gains independent HP, so a separate health point pool, transferring into a demon god that strikes terror into the very fabric of creation. Let's jump straight here. I'm wondering, is there a visual of what this looks like? Looks like when he ults, he enters the demon state. Holy crap. And then he's just kind of glowing like Lucius. But wow, look at those graphics. There's no way he's not going to be good based off that. So I know less about him. I know a tiny bit about Diao Chan. I know very little about Lubu. So let's find out. He has 3 tile range at base and front. Nothing changes, it looks like, on the ultimate. What happens if I bring him max level? Does anything change? No. But that's really good base range. We don't like a fighter in this game that just has 1 tile in front of them. So you want at least 2 or something wider. He has 3 in front. So this is, it's not to Valkyra or Eris level, but pretty or Ardia, but very special. Something we can get excited about. You can see he's 2 block, very standard, 20 cost, slightly higher than normal, but kind of in line with people with the longer ranges. Not as crazy as Eris, who I believe is 26. He's either 25 or 26. I think Eris is 26. Now let's go to the normal stats here. So this is interesting. His attack is not that high. The past many fighters that we've gotten in this game that are physical DPS, which I'm certain he is, normal damage, there you go, have had plus 6,000 attack. Really, like all of them. Twyla, Sung Wukong, Kugiri, even Ares when he came out. So 5418, this is pretty interesting. This makes me think, and I promise I haven't looked yet, this makes me think there's going to be something in this kit that ignores defense. Right? Because the way you put out damage in this game, your attack higher than their defense, boom, boom, boom. Your attack higher than their magic resistance, boom, boom, boom. So to kind of guarantee that and make him a hype hero, we have to wonder, is he going to ignore some defense, do some kind of penetration? HP's fine, nothing crazy at all. Compare this to someone like Sung Wukong or Kugiri or even Twyla, where their HP's like well over 20k. I think it's over 25k for all those heroes. This is like fine. But he is chaotic, so maybe he wants to drop that thing faster. We'll have to see when we get into the kit. Defense is quite good, over 3k. Magic res is terrible, which is standard for all these physical DPS fighters. We went over the cost block and redeploy. 2.6 second interval, completely standard. Everything else here looks completely standard. So let's get into the talent. Looks like we're going to have to understand what is Chaos Strike and what is Deep Descent. So let's start off there. Chaos Strike deals 320% AoE damage to up to 10 enemies in a large area ahead. So out of the gate, it feels like he's going to do some big-time AoE DPS as a melee unit with a really cool range. You can kind of already think, where's he going to be good just based off of that one thing, right? Conqueror, he should be great. The bottom row, or even the left lane or bottom lane in Gear Dungeon 2, aka Gear Raid 5. That's pretty cool. Just a big boom of damage. Then we also have this special thing, Deep Descent. We saw this with the ultimate when we briefly clicked on it. This is an effect that lasts 15 seconds. He enters a state with independent HP, and he already starts with only 65% HP. Maybe not only. If you do it when he is less than 65, it's a plus. When Chaos Strike is triggered, the skill we just covered, he is going to inflict a 50% slow, so not the biggest version of slow at 75%, but not the lowest at 25. Half speed slow for 3 seconds. 3 second duration is really nice. When receiving fatal damage in this state, he exits the state and restores 50% HP. So essentially, it's this constant cycling unyielding, if that makes sense. This constant unkillable state, because if you do kill him, you just throw him out of the Deep Descent, and he's back to normal, and he gets a half health heal. Half his health bar is coming back of his max health. 50% is coming back. So that seems really, really good. Let's take it through the talent. Every 12 seconds, the next basic attack consumes 15% of current HP to gain Chaos Strike. So Chaos Strike is happening. It's a single hit. It happens every 12 seconds. It costs 15%, not of max HP, but of current HP. That's pretty fine, I would say, right? So if you do it this way, if he's at 50% health when this triggers, he's not losing 15% of his HP. His total HP, he's losing 7.5%. It's 15% of that 50%. Hope we're on the same page. When deployed, he immediately, so it's not just from the ultimate, when deployed, he is also going to instantly enter that Deep Descent state. It's going to be for 15 seconds unless they kill him and he takes that fatal damage and they interrupt it and he exits and he gains the enhancement effects of Ultimate Dark Star. Is that what this is called? Yes. But cannot use ultimate during this state. Yeah, because he's already basically ulting. And basically, when you drop him initially, he insta-ults. He enters the state and he gains these special effects that we'll discuss. When the HP drops below 65%, Chaos Strike interval is reduced by 2 seconds. So if his HP is 65% or lower of what the max would be, Instead of every 12 seconds, every 10 seconds, he's doing that big AoE. I've got to say, this isn't happening that frequently, so I'm wondering if there's other ways it's going to get lowered. This isn't, maybe it's during the ultimate. This isn't happening that frequently, and that 320% feels strong enough. You know, for something that's happening only every 10 seconds, I would think it's going to be like 500% or something like that. We'll have to see. It is a huge AoE though. 10 targets is significant. So the basic attack, very standard ranged melee AoE unit basic attack. Eris, Valkyra, I think even Ardia, we're used to seeing this. It starts off at 100, goes up to 120, and it's 5 enemies. I like that they tell us the number of enemies. Same kind of range here, 3 tiles in front. Now the ultimate. This is 1,000 cost, goes down to 900 with 400 initial cost. Actually goes down to 800, excuse me, 1,000 minus 100 minus 100. So when this happens, it lasts 25 seconds. Looks like you cannot improve that. He immediately enters the deep descent state we discussed. Upon reaching maximum power, immediately enters deep descent. So this is redundant. It's both. So you do it, he immediately enters deep descent, and then he gains enhancement effects, which are the following. Increases his own attack by 30%, very strong, and reduces the trigger interval of Chaos Strike by an extra 2 seconds. So now we're kind of cooking. This last 25 seconds already, you can see from the talent, when he's below 65%, you lose 2 seconds. So from 12 to 10, and now we're bringing it down to 8. You can see you can actually reduce it another second over here at level 4. So it's every 7 seconds you get this. Do some math. It's happening, I guess, 3 times during this. I'm thinking there's going to be something with a passive. Like, if this happens, knock another second off. I'm hoping for that, because right now it doesn't seem strong enough. You'll also see at level 2, that 30% attack boost goes to a 40% one. He should be pretty deletey. A lot. So already I'd say he's a good hero, nothing game breaking. It's gonna come down to this. Well, I'll say actually the deep descent state is maybe a little game breaking, because it lets him continually avoid death. It's like over and over and over. If he's ever at risk of fatal damage, if he's in that state, he just comes back to normal and gets a big old heal from himself. But I think if he's really OP, it's going to come down to these passives, which I promise I have not even looked at yet. So I'm pretty hyped up about it. Let's see. What do we have here? Lapse of Reason. When not in deep descent, gains 0.5% rage when attacking enemies. For every 20% max HP of damage taken, gains 1% rage. Okay, so remember, he does 15% to himself every 12 seconds or 10 seconds or 8 seconds or 7 seconds, depending on how your skill ups work and if he's in the deep descent or not. But on top of that, every time he gets a full 20 knocked off, he gets 1% rage. I am assuming these things will all change with the skill ups. Both effects double when his HP is below 50%. I think you're going to want this guy fairly low health. He is Northerner and chaotic, but it feels like they're leaning heavy into the chaoticness of him. So how do these things change? The rage gain per attack can go up a percentage. So instead of 0.5% per hit, it's 1.5%. So that's not like 1.5 ticks of rage. It's 1.5% of his total rage, which if we go to the ultimate was 800 with skill ups. So what does that come out to? That's 12 rage per hit. That's actually quite good. And then the damage taken rage. So when every 20% that he loses, when he loses 20% at a time, it goes from 1% to 2%. So that's another 2%. It comes down to, I guess, how often he's getting hit, how often he's inflicting hits upon himself from what happens when he's doing this every 12 seconds thing, when he's doing his chaos strikes, when he's knocking his health off. Let's see this passive here. Power Hungry. When HP is below 65%, increases damage by 20%. So another little damage boost. That goes up to 30% with skill ups. For each ally within 2 tiles with HP below 65%, so a little chaotic synergy here. If you have other heroes that like to be low in health, it increases damage by 10% up to 30%. When the hero, so maybe if it's 1 ally, it's 10. If it's 2, it's 20. If it's 3, it's 30. When the hero's or an ally's HP drops below 60% for the first time, he gains 20% rage. Interesting. So only that first time, but he gets a big rage boost and actually becomes 30% each. So he'll get a couple ults off early. You can see, really feels like an arena hero, right? Seems like he's going to be really, really good with a Valderon, really good with a Gon, really good with an Elder. When you drop him, he's instantly in that deep descent, basically doing his ultimate enhancements already. And now anytime anyone's dropping a little bit, he's getting some rage boost. So he can get a couple quick ults up. Should be pretty darn nasty. I do have to say, going to be a great hero. I'm going to have to test him to know how strong all this stuff actually is, because to me, the big blasty chaos strikes are not happening enough, but you can see there's a lot of attack boosting going on here, a lot of damage boosting, a lot of rage cycling. So I think he's got a lot of potential, especially with this nice long ultimate. I'm assuming these other things can be triggered during it to make it faster for the next ultimate every time and just get that cycling faster. But as it stands now, he's harder for me to theory craft, so you wait for a video in a couple days, I'm certain, definitely before his banner comes. We are going to have to talk about his banner. We'll save that for the end, but you might have noticed he is chaotic, so how are they going to introduce him? Probably he's ancient exclusive, right? But yeah, I need to test him out because it reads well. It doesn't, there's not enough here where I'm seeing enough big blasts to really understand, unless you just see, oh wow, he's like always under 50% and he's always cooking. Then maybe we've got something. Now we've got his partner skill, his bond skill, Burning Ambition, Desire. This is once you get Diao Chan, who we all should get. We've been telling you since Wukong, or even before. Obviously, there's going to be a limited for Valentine's. Some people thought it was Diao Chan. We didn't know for sure, but we knew a limited was coming, and we knew it'd be a 200 guarantee. So I hope you're prepared. There's no excuse if you're free to play or anything. The only excuse would be you're free to play and you've been playing a week, right? And even then, I bet you I can pop this off on my free to play account. You guys should be able to too. They're going to give us a lot of goodies. But obtain Diao Chan Moon's Radiance to unlock the following bonus effect. So you should have this unlocked. If you then get lucky enough to get Lubu. Lubu, I do not anticipate will be guaranteed in any way, but Diao Chan, you should already be sitting on her. So when you get him, you have this skill. Increases the duration of Deep Descent and Enhanced State from his ultimate gained upon deployment by 15 seconds. So that's it, right? I think that's the next level. So yeah, it's only every 7 seconds and it's only 25 seconds, but wait. If you have Diao Chan, now every time he ults, his ult is 40 seconds long and you're getting all that other rage going. I think you're going to be able to cycle like crazy, and that initial deployment as well is going to be very, very nice at the full. Let me actually double check this. Yeah, it's going to be the full 40 seconds. That is remarkable. Additionally, anything else? No. But I mean, that's crazy. That's what we were waiting for. Let's go to his Arena Mastery. This is disappointing. I was hoping it'd be a cost reduction so you could get him out earlier, maybe like -5 cost, so he'd be only 15. But no, it's a damage boost. But this guy's going to be nasty in Arena. Great hero. You're going to want Diao Chan. So if she's already going to be amazing, you'll see in the second video. I can't wait to cover her and find out more. But this is a good hero. And then you add Diao Chan, 15 extra seconds on the ultimate. That's a huge boost from 25 to 45 seconds. I mean, it's increasing by 60% from 25 to 40. So, wow, that got me kind of jazzed up. All right, let's go to the Awakenings. His A1, we kind of saw this coming, right? Increases basic attack range by 1. If the enemy is not blocked, increases damage by 20%. The place this is always most relevant is on that top lane in Gear Raid 4, aka Gear Dungeon 1, but he is a physical DPS, so you don't really need it here. This is just kind of like a nice bonus, and the extra 20% when he's not blocked is great. With that big range, you can always hide him behind someone. It's a very good A1. I wouldn't say it's game-breaking, but it's very good. A2, -2 cost. Wow. Okay, so I was really hoping for plus 300 attack here. This does bring him down to 18, which is a lot more reasonable. But with only 5,400 attack and nothing really ignoring the defenses, I was kind of calling my shot saying I think there'd be penetration, and we didn't really get it. I'm assuming we at least get that on A4. No, we get the attack on A4. Interesting. So -2 cost, plus 300 attack, so no penetration built in, even with Awakenings. Interesting. I mean, it's not a bad thing, but I find that interesting. His A3 increases Chaos Strike's damage multiplier by 40 and executes enemies with HP below 15%. All right, so this is broken. Okay, I have nothing else to say. So now he's going to do 360% AoE every time he does it, and he gets an execute functionality at 15% or lower. 15% might sound pretty low to begin with, but those executes are just locked in, guaranteed things. So whether they were left with 14% or 0.1%, they're done, baby. We love it. Now we get the plus 300 attacks. Now he gets over 5,700. Kind of wish they switched this A2 and the A4, to be honest. And then his A5, when he's in the deep descent state, and his enhanced state upon deployment, taking fatal damage will not instantly end these states. Instead, he becomes immune to damage and reduces the duration of deep descent and enhanced state by 5 seconds. That's broken. So he basically gets 2 shots to be unkillable, right? He gets 2 shots of invulnerability, 2 shots of unyielding. You kill him, Now he actually says, nah, I'm good. I'm not going to die this time. Someone heal me back up. Don't touch me for 5 seconds. We're okay. I'm going to reduce the duration for 5 seconds and then try to kill me again. Okay, you kill me again? Fine. Now I'll leave the state, but let me heal myself by half my health, 50% max HP heal. That's crazy. So whales are going to get this, and this guy is going to torture us in all the PvP modes. Okay? Brace yourself. I'd say this A3 is really busted and exciting. This A5 is not so. Don't worry about it. Most of you won't get it. All in all, I'd say he's going to be a very good hero with, upon testing, potential to be a phenomenal hero. And I think we should all be pretty jazzed up. I think he looks pretty cool. Some people are going to think he's the coolest hero in the game. That is not me. I'll leave it at that. Let's finally talk about the banner, okay? He is chaotic. So how does it work? If someone's chaotic or arbiter, almost every single time they're an ancient exclusive hero, meaning pulling them or acquiring them is limited exclusively to special ancient summoning banners. So you can't get them from your normal blue summons or your normal gold orange summons. There's a chance, we honestly don't know, there's a chance he could be in the normal pool. That would be good news. But as it stands, there are only 4 normal non-Lord legendary heroes in the game that are available from both ancient summons and normal rare and divine summons. So for the arbiters, that would be Valkyra, and that would be Constance. And then for the chaos, that would be Valeria, and that would be Cerberus. Could he make 5, be the third chaos that is, dancing between the 2 pools? Sure. Do I think he will be? No. I think he's going to be ancient exclusive, and I think we can expect he's going to be on a banner. So maybe they put him with Valderon. I mean, could there be anything more hype? Maybe they put him with Ymeric, something like that. Maybe they put him with Cyrus just for yours truly. I mean, that'd be pretty darn cool. But I think that's what you can expect. I'm sure we'll get news next week. I'm sure he'll be on Raid Up next weekend. I would think, at least, if they want to be really sassy, if they want to be real sassy with us, what they'll do is they'll delay it a week, and it'll be after Valentine's Day, and they'll be like, oh, we're introducing him to the pool now, and they'll do a bad banner, and people will still summon. And then later on, maybe not even in 2 weeks, but later on, they would do him on actually 15x Raid Up. There you go, though. That is Lubu. Hope you enjoyed it. Remember, look forward to it. We do have the same kind of video just like this coming on Diao-chan later today. I think that one is going to be so much fun. That's what I'm most excited for. So let me know your thoughts about Lubu in the comments below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, share with your mother, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.